What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Gentlemen Gaming Podcast, brought to you by the word Nope! Yeah. Nope. I'm your host, Mike, and for a fantastic nope-filled episode, we're featuring Silent Hills. Joining me are Mr. Dom. Hi.
This episode is gonna be filled with a lot of yeses. Yes.
Nope. I should have made a big cardboard sign that said nope that I can hold up constantly.
Hold it up.
Just hold it up when I need to. Also, joining us are John and Cleo.
Guess which one's which?
We're not going to tell at any point.
That one is Rob.
Oh, and our special guest, Ominous Smoke.
It's going to be very active.
Every time I put my finger in there, it gets all burny.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, really don't. It's more mist. Does mist burn?
I don't know. The mist, the fog, whatever it is in Silent Hills is always extremely creepy, so I don't want anything to do with any of that.
Is it an acidic mist?
It could be.
We don't know.
Unclear. So, mostly what we're going to be talking about is the Silent Hills franchise, including the, as of recently canceled, what was it going to be, the 9th game in the series?
It was. It was going to be the best game in the series.
Yeah, they even had a whole, a whole short demo, which, what did they call it, PT, playable trailer, playable teaser, whatever
Which
it was.
The most insane thing ever.
It was the most intense walking through the same hallway 18 times that I've ever experienced.
And I never even got to play it because I don't have a PS4.
No, I watched him play it, and
I watched about 5 different people play it, and I never got bored of watching people play it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna, for the record, I still have it on my PS4, right? Because if you downloaded it, if you saved it on there, you still have it. Right now, you cannot re-download it. It's off the store. It's gone. Whatever. It's done. Because Hideo Kojima was removed from Konami, and they got rid of everything to do with him. They just scrubbed it clean, canceled the game.
Such little children.
I'm thinking this October on this stream, I may get my mom to play it.
Oh!
My mom does not, number one, she's not the best at video games, which is okay because there's not a lot of controls in this game. And number two, she does not like horror. So, it may be very interesting.
It's going to be amazing.
That's awesome.
better get a pretty beat-up PS4 controller that you don't mind getting thrown through a television.
Also a new television.
Yeah.
Also, yes, use a backup television for this, because, oh my god, that's going to be entertaining.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I don't know, the game had such amazing potential. It was insane. And then we should have known that it was potentially going to get canceled, or Hideo Kojima should have known, because when Kojima was making Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, he hid a lot of stuff in the game that basically had to do with him leaving the company, because so he knew he was going to get fired while making all this stuff, because there's missions in Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes where you actually have to go through with a UV light and find all of the Metal Gear Solid titles that he worked on, and you need to erase them with the UV light, basically scrubbing all his titles out of existence.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then on top of it, once you finish this and complete it, you get a message that says, you might be able to erase the markings, but the memories will never disappear.
Damn right.
So it's just it's very eerie that he was able to hide something like that in plain sight, get it under the company's nose, and, Konami had no clue he was doing it for that reason, but he knew. He's very, very intelligent gamer.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And also depressing.
Does anyone really know what happened?
I don't think the full story was ever released.
Mm-mm.
There's wild speculation everywhere and all that other stuff. But, that's what's going to happen until someone releases an actual article with, so-and-so, head of Konami, has stated that this happened.
I mean, they've
Right.
gone so far to erase him, though. Like, they've erased him from all the box art.
Yeah, they took
won't-
his name off the box art.
They told interviewers at E3 that you are not allowed to mention his name to people at Konami when you're interviewing them. Like, this really crazy, childish nonsense that they're pulling. Like, nope, he's not real. He
Did
didn't exist.
he-
Nope.
Yeah, I was looking at articles before we started, and one of them refers to it as scorched earth policy.
Did he
Yeah.
impregnate the
Fire him.
CEO's daughter? Like, I mean, what? That's the kind of scorched earth we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I mean, just recently, I know that WWF did the same thing with Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
But that was for racial slurs used in a porno, of all things. And, so number one, the context is really weird because little kids shouldn't be seeing this video anyway.
No.
And number two, like, this thing is quite old. It's
He's also banging his best friend's wife in the video. So
yeah,
that's-
I
We
haven't
don't-
seen it personally, but it's just the company went out of their way. They scrubbed him out of existence. You go to Hulk Hogan's like Hall of Fame page, it's gone. Like it says private, you cannot access. All his merchandise, all like he was removed from every article on the website. Any mention of him, it's just gone. So, like that
Silly.
kind of I can see it's justified or whatever. But for Kojima, like really, like if it was something that bad, we would have heard about it, but it's clearly not.
Allegedly, the issue was perhaps what he wanted. What we do know maybe is that they wanted him to keep making Metal Gear Solid games, but he wanted 5 to be the last one series, and they were like, no, money. We'd like money.
Cash cow.
So,
He originally wanted 2 to be the last one.
yeah, he's been wanting to make a lot of last ones.
Yeah, he's been trying to distance himself from the series for a while now.
Yeah,
Hey, look, after playing 4, I'm glad he didn't stop at 2. Because
I don't remember if I finished 4 or not.
I know I didn't finish 4 because my PS3 bricked itself halfway through.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the exact moment, and I was fit to be tied. Pissed.
To be tied.
doesn't the PS4 play PS3 games or no?
No,
No.
Huh.
it
Wait,
is not.
PS4 can't play PS3 games?
That is correct.
No,
Sega does what Nintendo Achilles.
No, see, here's the thing. My PS3 that I got was the original PS3. It could play PS1, 2, and 3 games. But
Yes.
if I sent it back to them to get it fixed, they would have sent me a refurbished new one
Yeah.
with the backwards compatibility stripped out of it.
Correct.
And I was like, I will take my chances with a soldering iron rather than spend
Did your
$150 for you to strip features from my PS3 but return it to me in working order.
Yep. So it's a shame, it's
what?
But-
Silent
yeah,
Hill
off
has
topic.
been one of my favorite series ever. It was like I think it was the second horror game that I ever played on PlayStation, the original PlayStation.
Mhm.
So
What's your
the first was Resident Evil.
Yeah, okay, that was mine too.
I think that was a lot of people's first horror game or horror style game.
Because I played like Doom, and I play it's my first console one because I played a lot of like Doom, which was kind of survival horror a little bit to a degree. I played Alone in the Dark, that was very much survival horror, but Resident Evil and Silent Hill were the first 2 I played on console.
All right.
Funny story. The first, I don't think I've ever played a horror game on console. But if we don't count Doom, Slender the 8 Pages is the first horror game I ever played.
Wow.
I
Took you a
know.
while, huh?
Well, okay, here's the thing, and I wanted to talk about this just because my relationship with horror is weird. When I was younger, I hated horror. I thought it was stupid and, all of that stuff. It's only recently that I got into horror.
I mean,
Why did you think it was stupid?
Well, because all the like, especially when I was in high school, whatever was coming out around that time, it's like, oh, it's a remake. Oh, it's like a sequel. Oh, it's the same thing. Oh, this isn't scary. Whatever I happened to be watching, the only one I found any merit in was the first Saw. It's the only one I ever liked.
Yeah.
It's the only one you found scary.
Disturbing. Even that, I wasn't scared. I was disturbed. I was like, whoa, this is good. This is crazy.
my best friend and I, my other best friend, not Mike. Sorry, my old neighbor and I. He had the PlayStation when we were growing up.
Yes, he did.
So we played Resident Evil, and we actually played the first Silent Hill together. And I must have been pretty little at the time. I don't remember being that old when we were playing those games because I was maybe like 11 at the most, maybe 10. I don't remember being that old, and like I couldn't get through either of them at all. I was terrified. I had nightmares every night, especially with Silent Hill 1 because we never
Yeah.
actually finished it. That was the worst part because we
Yeah,
never
the
knew how.
first one, it was like ridiculously hard, first
Yeah,
and foremost. It was really creepy. And like, okay, so the whole reason that we have the fog in the game is because the game was created on the original PlayStation, and the original PlayStation didn't have a very far draw distance.
Yeah,
Render
right.
distance.
So yeah, so they decided to mask this by creating thick, intense fog.
Yep.
Or when you're indoors, they did it with darkness.
Yep.
So that's how they got around it.
Now, that's clever use of hardware limitations.
It it really is. But then when the system outgrew itself and it went on, PS2 and above, because eventually it even came out on the Wii. But the draw distance was much farther, but they didn't draw further. They kept the fog. They kept the close in feel that you had through the whole thing, and that really became like the franchise staple.
it was good until they made the I think the HD remakes of it. That's when they were like, well, we can get rid of the fog. The draw distance is super great now. It's like, no.
Don't do that.
They got rid of the fog. They got rid of a lot of like the filters that were put on the camera in the game to
Mhm.
make it look grainier. Because they were
Yeah.
like, oh, it looks stupid. Why'd they put this on here? Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
I don't know. I really liked the fog. I thought, I haven't played any of the HD remakes. In fact,
Don't.
as far as I got, I played, the original Silent Hill. I played Silent Hill 2. I played Silent Hill 3. I have not played a Silent Hill game after 3, and this was going to be the 9th game. So
There's been a lot.
I haven't played 6 of them.
Yeah, it was going to be the 9th game, and it looked like it would have
Yeah, and this was going to be the first one I was ever going to play.
give you the willies thinking about it. So,
Yeah.
before we really get into, more of the game, the town of Silent Hills. Now, if I remember correctly, it's loosely based on a real town in Pennsylvania. It's
is-
not confirmed. A lot of people theorize it's based on a burning town, town where the coal mines or something like that are on fire constantly.
Right. That is Centralia.
Yeah, there we
in
go.
Pennsylvania.
Centralia, Pennsylvania.
That is what the town in the movies were based off of.
Right. Okay, that's where I'm getting mistaken.
So
All right. So anyway, Silent Hills. It is set in Maine, and it has a quaint little history going back 4 centuries,
yep.
many centuries. So, pre-colonies, because Maine was here before white people were here. The Native Americans. Little known historical fact: North America existed before it was colonized.
White people invented Maine. Come on. Like,
They may. White people invented Maine. Everybody, you heard it here.
They did, technically.
I mean,
The Native Americans called it the place of silenced spirits.
It's already kind of creepy.
It's already, putting up gigantic "Do not build a town here" signs.
Yeah. 400 years ago, it is saying, don't do this. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea.
it started off with a nope.
seriously.
This is the Native Americans telling you no. Like, really, seriously, no. But we did it, they did it anyway. 17th century, so 1600s, the British colony from Jamestown made their way, burned some witches in 1692.
So it's already starting off by ritual sacrifice, and it's already getting even creepier.
Sounds par for the course for the late 1600s, which is getting burned. Then on to the 18th century. The start of the 1700s, an epidemic spread through the area, up to and surrounding the nearby Toluca Lake. And that's really all that happened of note in the 18th century.
That is actually all that happened in the 18th century. Throughout that entire span of 100 years, nobody went near the place because of the epidemic.
Good call. 19th century. And this is where we start getting some meat. A penal colony was established near the lake named Silent Hill, named after the original designation. A prison and hospital were established, but the hospital fell on dark times with the plague. Closed in 1840. In 1850s, a coal field, a field of coal, was found beneath the town. Resurgence in the area and economy revitalized the town. I mean, hey, coal was a big thing. Still is a big thing. Neighboring town of Shepherd's Glen was built. Civil War, the prison was turned into a POW camp. I guess that's one way to make sure they don't rejoin the Confederacy. Put them in Maine.
Stick them in Silent Hill.
Stick them in Maine. No, stick them in Maine, because now they have now they have about 6 states to get through to get back home.
Right.
And they later converted it into a normal correctional facility. All right, that was the 19th century. Now, 20th century, more modern times. Historical society built over the prison. The coal mine dried up, as that happens. Turned to tourism for revenue. Tour ship went missing on the lake. Why would you need a... Okay.
Gee.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lake. You have like what they showed in like the games and stuff. I remember it was like a steamboat kind of like thing, but I don't know exactly how big this lake is.
Right.
Because we don't actually have a full picture of Silent Hill. Surprisingly enough, through the 8 games that have been released, we only still have bits and parts of the entire surrounding area.
It's true. But isn't part of it also that it changes?
Kind of, but not really. It depends on the world you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like, so there's the real world, which is ironically the one that we see the least of in the game, and then there's the fog world, and then there's I forget, what did they call it in the game? Otherworld, I think it is. So Otherworld is like the grimy, like,
Oh yeah, gross place.
yeah. So
Fun places.
we see more of the fog world and underworld than anything. The real world is very, very limited in that.
Yeah.
And the worlds change in the other depending on how, what you go through. So the real world and fog world might even be very different from each other. But underworld is drastically different.
All right. And then, aside from the tour ship, staff members died. They found them dead. And there was a drug that spread through the town known as PTV, made from a local plant called White Claudia. That sounds ominous. And the hospital helped sell it to local tourists.
Yeah, so they were in on it. I know at one point that they went after the mayor found him dead in his office and found out he was actually involved in the whole thing as well. So the whole town itself was like a conspirator in this crazy drug release, but it's that was what was helping their economy, All
right. So we have a fan-made map here that I was able to pull up of Silent Hill. Not going to get too much detail from it. I'm imagining this is the lake here.
The lake extends all to the other side, and I'm assuming it even goes up. Because if you look at the very top of the map, there's water over there. So I'm assuming the lake goes up that way as well.
All right.
And it's not just a lake. It looks like there's a river, too.
True.
Just some kind of outlet for it.
Maybe like a canal going through the town. Anyway, the areas in town, we have Paleville up here. This is the northern section. This is the old Silent Hill, central Silent Hill, and the resort area. There's an amusement park around there somewhere.
Amusement park is actually that red block on the...
Okay, I see it.
Big part. Yeah.
I see it. Yeah. And then we have Southvale. This is the southern section of town from Silent Hills 2 and 3. That's right around here. And then we have an unnamed southeast district that was first introduced in Downpour, and it features 5 suburbs. But this is, I'm guessing, something a fan pieced together from in-game maps and other fun goodies. But
yeah, so there, as you can see, there's a lot of areas on the map that we have not seen of the town. We haven't, so... Like, you're like, oh, I'm in the hospital in the first game. You go to the hospital in the second game. It's not the same hospital. So that's why, Cleo, you may have been like, oh, the landscape changes and stuff. It doesn't really.
It's just a different part.
Just different parts of town.
Yeah, you're never seeing the same part twice.
Yeah, right. So you're never seeing the same part twice, and then you're seeing them through 3 different, realms, I guess you could say. Worlds, dimensions, fog filters.
Yeah, real world, fog world, and other world.
Right.
Fog glass.
So there's a lot to see. So it's a decent-sized town.
And it's very creepy.
Which is saying a lot for me. Anyway, as we mentioned, the Silent Hills we were talking about that's canceled was going to be the 9th game. Here are the games in chronological order, which I honestly did not know. I would have just assumed it went 1, 2, 3, 4. But Silent Hill Origins, Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 4, The Room, Silent
Which
Hill...
ironically actually wasn't even a Silent Hill game. Silent Hill 4 was meant to be another game. There was rumors that it was going to be a game based on like Saw.
Yeah.
But they ended up building another game around Saw. But I know that there's like the opening room starts off in a bathroom pretty similar to the one in the Saw movies.
Yeah.
They changed it up quite a bit, but it's still
weird. I didn't know that.
I did actually get to play it a little bit. I never played it really. Actually, our friend Rob has it, and he showed it to me. It wasn't great.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it play it. It looks like a pile of duty.
Yeah, that's when I actually stopped on the franchise. Was at Silent Hill 4. I didn't play it. I was excited for it. I was looking for it, and then before it came out, it got really bad reviews, and I held off on it. And I actually just never got around to getting back to the Silent Hill franchise after that, because I don't remember what was it. Shattered Memories? I think it was Shattered Memories. That was like one of the more recent ones.
Yes.
Came out on the Wii.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a Wii at the time. So
That one looked...
It was
interesting.
okay.
Yeah, it looked interesting.
It was a big departure from like the traditional series, so I don't know. I watched it be played, but I never actually went out and got it myself.
Yeah.
All right. And then after 4, there was Homecoming and Downpour.
And
Silent Hills Homecoming, Silent Hills Downpour. And then there was Shattered Memories, which was released on the Wii and then ported to PS2 and PSP.
Yeah, I think it was like a year later, and I stopped caring about it.
And this takes place in an alternate universe, apparently. And
yeah,
speaking...
it mirrors the first game, and it follows that character around, and it's like different things occurred that led up, so it's literally an alternate timeline.
Just a different story, yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of different timelines, different stories, and alternate universes, we had 2 lovely films that took the name Silent Hill. I fondly remember the second one because it was the day I met Cleo's brother. And it was also the day that Cleo's brother almost died because our friend Rob broke him outside of the movie theater. But that's a story for another time.
You picked him up and...
No. He just made a face and like sucked
he showed him his popcorn trick.
He showed him his popcorn trick. Yeah, exactly. And
that sounds dirtier than it is.
Is it anything like Heath Ledger's pencil trick?
It's a little worse.
Yeah.
Rob, if you're watching, I love you.
No one died.
No one dies.
Anyway, the movies. My opinion of the second movie, because it's the only one I paid attention to.
But hold on, this is just... you have not played any of the Silent Hill games, right?
Me?
Yeah, when we were trying to figure out the order for this, Dom asked, "So, Mike, are you familiar with Silent Hills?" I'm like, I saw the movies.
So
my
your
exact
entire
response.
Knowledge of this game is based on watching me play PT and
watching you play PT, watching my cousins play Silent Hill 2. Various times I've watched footage of 3 and 4 and 1. But not actually. I've never played through it myself. I've never watched a full playthrough. So my knowledge is a little lacking.
So your knowledge is basically the movies.
My knowledge is basically the movies, which made Malcolm McDowell look like a bad actor, and was the only film in which I have not seen Sean Bean die.
Spoilers.
Oh, right?
Wait, National Treasure too. He didn't die in National Treasure, but he's in federal.
Gets pissed that his name doesn't rhyme, so they kill him off.
Yeah.
Gene Bean.
I don't know, but ironically enough, the movies followed the story of the games really well.
Okay.
It did. It really did. Like, people started ragging on it, but it did. Like, the witch trials, all that stuff. Like, that's what the movie focused on. It focused on that era. It focused on the cult that was going on around town, which are all prominent in the game. They're just not featured. You don't get the backstory. in depth. You hear of it, it's mentioned, but you don't know the whole thing. So the movies were basically the gaps that filled in the information that we didn't know, but it didn't break canon.
Mm. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But see, I enjoyed watching the first Silent Hill movie.
The first one was
The first one
decent.
wasn't bad.
No,
Yeah.
it was,
It was
but
not
I mean,
bad.
it was, but it wasn't. But also at the same time, it wasn't scary.
Right.
Like it did the story well, it did the monsters well, but it wasn't scary.
Well, see, I I have yet to see a movie that's actually scared me.
Movie
That's
I know
what it
I
comes
have.
down to. I've had games.
Texas Chainsaw scared the shit out of me.
See, I've had games that creep me out or leave me uneasy feeling, and then I'm just like, oh, like Silent Hill was one of them, like the first Silent Hill, and the second Silent Hill especially. The second Silent Hill, I remember playing downstairs. We had this whole like movie room set up with 5.1 stereo surround sound. I remember my parents were gone. Like the game came out, I was still in like high school or something. The game came out and they were out. They were away on a trip, and I plugged in the PlayStation to the big TV we had down there, hooked it up to the 5.1 stereo surround sound at like 1 in the morning, and I'm playing Silent Hill in the basement with the lights off. And
Nope.
we're playing the second one because this I had never played it before. I just booted it up, and I remember going through, and I get the radio, and the radio was like the best thing ever because, well, not really. You would think it would be the best thing ever because the radio would crackle and it would make noise whenever the creatures were nearby, and so you knew, right? So if the radio wasn't going off, you were okay. If the radio went off, you're fucked. Like run.
Yeah.
But knowing that they're nearby makes it worse.
Oh,
It does
yeah.
not help.
No. Especially when you're in an open room, just like
Yeah, you're like, okay. So I remember running down the road. I'm exploring the town for the first time. The radio was, I don't even know if I had the radio at this point. I either had the radio and it didn't go off, or I was on my way to find the radio, one of the two. And I remember running down the street, and one of the creatures crab walked out from under a car at my feet. It fucking just ran out, and I took the controller and threw it at the TV and broke the TV.
You broke the TV.
Broke the TV.
well done.
and Dom had his first nope.
And I wanted to continue playing, but I couldn't.
You broke the
But
TV.
you broke the TV.
Yeah.
And see, I've been sitting here this whole time trying to figure out what movie really creeped me out because and it was the movie with Paul Walker and Steve Zahn. The trucker was chasing them. I can't remember the name of the movie for the life of me.
Oh,
But that movie has creeped me
Yeah.
out more than any other movie I've ever seen.
And I'm thinking of like what really scared me, and they're not movies. It's Marble Hornets.
yeah, yeah.
That's really what the Slenderman
No,
YouTube
it's-
series.
To this day, I still can't watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
original.
the original?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just shatters me to my core.
See, for me, I think what it is watching a movie, I'm fine because it's not me.
Playing a video game, it's you.
Playing a video game, it's not necessarily me either, but I'm more in the perspective. I'm more in control. I'm the character, going through these things.
Which is
And-
interesting.
What happens, so it affects me. And that's what PT
Yes.
actually had me the most, because you're playing first person. You are that person.
Ooh.
And that's what creeped me out more than anything. And that, I can honestly say, is the first game that creeped me out since Silent Hill 2.
And
And
watching
it's
you...
not just that, but that game, it feeds off of what you're doing. Like it's gonna change depending on how you are playing the game
Right.
slightly.
Right.
Like I'm sure they were saving the real stuff for Silent Hills, which is very disappointing.
Very
Yeah.
disappointing. Yeah, but anyway, so PT you mentioned. Supposedly they toned the graphics down intentionally to make it appear more of an indie game.
Still fucking looked awesome.
Oh yeah, it looked fantastic.
It
It
did.
was beaten the day it was released. They expected it to be finished within a week. Clearly, they underestimate the populace of gamers.
And it was
Yeah,
beaten by accident. That's the
was.
fun
Well,
part.
no, but the Silent
That's
Hills
what I'm
trailer
saying.
ending. I thought that took like a couple
No.
days. I was beaten
No,
immediately.
that was beaten the day it was released.
Accidentally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was completely beaten
I'm
by
sorry.
accident.
But you know what?
Yeah,
I do get.
I'm sorry.
I do got to say that this was the first time in many years that I actually jumped and audibly, made a sound at a scare. I'm watching Dom play this live, and just round the hallway, round the hallway, round the hallway, round the hallway. Suddenly rounds the corner, and there she is, standing there in the foyer, just barely lit. Just kind of. His reaction was nope around the corner, and as soon as he walked around the corner and I saw her, I was like, ah! And then we were on a delay. 2 seconds later, I hear my wife from the other room, ah! And yeah, I love Dom's reaction. He walks around the corner, he's like, nope, back around the corner.
No, what got me was when she slams the door on you. Like you peek in the bathroom door and you see her like half of her face, and she slams the door. It's like, oh my god!
Yeah, and the
her in the
playthrough that Mike's talking about, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube channel. So you can go on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/deadzista, and
I watched it before this, if I knew that.
yeah, it is there. So
Anyway, the final puzzle in that game.
The final puzzle was kind of crazy because there's all these little like hints. Like nobody really knew like what it was. So when you go into the game, right, and you're in the final thing, your objective is to make the phone ring and pick up the phone. But there is like this whole method on how to do it, and it was discovered by accident. People were doing it, but nobody really knew why.
Okay.
Right. There was if you look, I don't know, can you pull up the image that they had for the title?
This image you're talking about?
Yeah. Can you pull
Hold
that up.
Give me a minute. I'll pull it right up on screen.
Okay.
But keep going.
Yeah.
Something to do with the numbers on the radio, right?
Yeah, throughout the game, there's this number that keeps getting repeated, which is 204863.
Didn't say it right.
What?
204863.
Yeah. And
Like the
that ends up being like Kojima's birthday if you rearrange like two of the numbers or whatever. So a lot of people thought that was the significance of it, which is actually not the case at all. This image that we have here for PT, the studio that's under it is I can't read that from here. What is that?
7780S Studio.
Yeah, so 7780 Studios. Basically what it was, people were trying to figure out what the number sequence was, 204863. So they figured that they needed a keyword to try to decipher it. So if you're looking at this picture, you're looking for a 4-letter word where 2 of the letters are the same.
tree.
You're looking at a bunch of trees. So they figured the keyword is tree and that it's backwards. So
Yeah, I don't understand how they figured it was backwards. I guess
because double E's would be the 7s.
Oh, of course. Oh.
EERT, so turn it around to get tree.
Okay. Oh, right. Because it had to match 7780,
Right.
and that's the cipher. Okay.
Right, so that brings us to tree. So then if you were to fill that in for the 204863, and well, you have to flip 204863 as well. If you flipped that word, you got to flip this one as well. So you get blank blank R blank T blank. But then you go through the game, and as you're going through the game, you're picking up little pieces of things, and you get a letter, and the letter is signed J.
Yeah.
Right? So you know the first one now is a J.
Yeah.
So that fills you in. So you have J space R space T space. And I know that there were some people that were looking through and they were going through names and they were filling in like generator kind of things, whatever, to fill those in. Only one name came up, and that was Jareth, who happens to be a fallen angel in the Book of Enoch. So biblically, it all makes sense. You know?
Yeah.
So because you get that, and so now you have the name. You have Jareth, but before that, every time you pick up a little piece of letter, there's letters, all like little fragments hidden throughout the game. You'll get 8 instructions basically. The first was during the inert waiting, I stopped moving. The second one was I whispered his name. The third one is then he slid his index finger over my hand. 4, it was a cold hand. 5, my body was shivering. 6, I waited for it to pass. 7, never moving a step, his hand in mine, and fading through a fog of consciousness. And 8 was, I believe I heard a phone. So basically the instructions, what they're telling you to do is, during the inert waiting, I stopped moving. So this is now after the clock strikes midnight, you stop moving, right? Then you have to have the speaker, the PlayStation headset, hooked up to the controller, and you have to say his name. You have to say Jareth into the microphone, right? So after you say Jareth, the controller then starts to vibrate. Like that's the shivering. I waited, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll hear little triggers of like the infant in the game crying and stuff like that. And then the final one is never moving, whatever. So you just basically stand there until that happens. And then you'll hear the phone ring and then you turn around and pick it up. And I believe we have a video as well for the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm calling that up. I'm dealing with my cat, sorry.
Yeah. So, like...
Oh, the fucking fetus? Yeah, fuck that fetus.
Yeah, that thing was super creepy. It was super creepy.
Yeah.
So, like, this is the ending, and you could see, like, it's a very pretty game.
This is
the cockroach looks real.
The graphics were toned down.
The 2 cockroaches, I should say.
Well, it's a mutant cockroach, isn't it? It's a single cockroach that just has 2 heads.
I don't know about that. But...
Oh, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. But, like, you see there's all, like, hidden messages everywhere throughout the game.
You have to find the pieces of the photo in order to protect you from the ghost lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If not, she will strangle the shit out of you.
I loved watching people play it. I watched like 5 different people play it, and every time someone, like, everyone's experience was different.
Yeah.
There were people found things that other people didn't. Like, there was the Scary Game Squad played it, and they were all like, "Oh, look out the window! Oh, she's never outside the window." And then Markiplier played it, and she was outside the window, and I lost it. I was like, "Oh no! Fuck that!"
Yeah.
So this is the very end here where they're waiting. I think here. You could turn the audio on for this one.
Oh, all right.
Let's scare our audience. Have fun.
So you find out the creature that's talking here this whole time was actually the baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, super creepy.
Oh, when you looked in the sink and the baby was talking to you. Oh,
How about when the meat bag was talking?
yeah.
But guess what?
I mean, the fetus in the bag.
Whatever.
That one gave me giggles.
Bringing my new toys with
I don't know why they Spanish
That would give me a
subtitles.
case of the nopes.
I would like to hear the thing talk in Spanish. So now this is
Oh,
the
that's great.
this is the final video that you unlock once you beat the game. And I just remember looking at this and just about shitting my pants.
Because no one knew it was a Silent Hills thing
Until they beat it.
until this.
Right. Now, I knew this was a Silent Hill game going into it
Yeah.
because, I heard, but I didn't watch this video. I stayed away from it,
Yeah.
I
I mean, just look at this.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
And just imagine watching this not knowing it was a Silent Hill game.
Oh, I know.
Cannot imagine.
The people who first saw this must have lost their shit.
Yeah.
And fucking Daryl turns around.
Norman Reedus. I would say in the flesh, but
I mean,
The
they
Wire
video game?
mesh.
they flash the names of 2 beloved directors, 1 game, 1 movie,
yeah.
and it's like, oh boy.
Yes.
Which actually they think they're still talking to each other.
Yes, they are.
And they want to make something. since they can't make Silent Hills.
That is just depressing.
But they're gonna make something with the idea in mind that they had for Silent Hills, which is the game changing depending on how you play it. Being individually tailored to how you're playing the game. So they're gonna make a game like that. It's just not gonna be Silent Hills.
Yeah, just recently, as recent as 2 days ago, there was an interview with IGN. Guillermo del Toro had, and he said that I love working with Kojima-san. We are still in touch. We are still friends, and working into doing something together. But that's not going to be Silent Hills. Guillermo del Toro also detailed a bit about what Silent Hills, though still very early in the development process, could have been. Said we were in the planning stages, and it's a shame that it's not going to happen. We were talking about really pushing boundaries in the new consoles and making the game mess with your head. One of the great moments in Metal Gear Solid was Psycho Mantis.
Yeah.
The idea what a game can actually interact with you and stuff like that. So imagine taking what Psycho Mantis was in Metal Gear Solid and turning that into horror stuff. You know?
Like,
can you imagine,
like legitimately horror stuff?
Can you imagine if this game linked in and synced up with like your Netflix account and started telling you stuff that you were watching? Like, you wouldn't even think for a second,
Listen,
oh, the game is going into my Netflix, but if it was doing that in the background and being like, well, I know you're a fan of The Walking Dead, and you're like, what? Like, how did you know that?
Facebook and Google already do that to me, and I am terrified.
I mean,
Yeah.
Psycho Mantis just read your memory card, and
Yeah.
it's fucking terrifying.
I see, yeah.
I see you like Crash Bandicoot. Fuck you. Okay?
I see you really enjoy playing Crash
But
Bandicoot.
like, imagine
You like men.
But like, imagine if you use like the PlayStation Eye or like the Kinect to like look at you, and like be like, "It's a nice blue shirt
Okay,
you got on
hold
there,
on.
fucker."
That's-
I think
like-
that there is a line.
And they will cross that line
They will. They 100% would cross
and tell
the
you
line.
what the fuck you look like and what you're wearing, just to ruin your life.
Hey, fat ass.
They really would, too.
Want to
But,
hit the gym
like-
there, fatty?
No, but like Psycho Mantis and Metal Gear Solid, like not only did it read the memory card, but spoilers, the way to beat Psycho Mantis was to unplug your controller out of the player 1 slot and then plug it into player 2.
Yep.
Just,
Otherwise, he would react instantaneously to all of your moves.
And if you're playing it on an emulator, like if you're playing it on PS2 or PS3 or whatever, you just have to like go into the PlayStation settings and switch your controller port through manually through the menu.
Yeah. And
I didn't know that about the
there were
ports.
moments in that, and even like in Metal Gear Solid, like towards the end, where like your TV, it would look like your TV shut off, and it would just show like the 3 in your in the corner of your TV, like the game shut, like the PlayStation shut off,
Yeah.
just to scare you.
I want
They
to.
did the old fission mailed thing.
I love
It's-
fission mailed.
Mwah.
I want to address what Phaedrus just said in chat. Guillermo has a bit of a habit of not finishing projects. Is my only concern. Not his fault.
No.
The things that the projects he's been unable to finish have never been his fault.
Correct.
But it's true. A lot of things he starts, he's unable to finish, or a lot of ideas he has never come to be.
Come to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, there is actually another
Which is a bit
trailer.
of a curse, but the things he does make are golden. So
There's actually another trailer that was released. I don't know if you have that queued up, Mike, but it was at the press conference for TGS 2014 that they had, and this really showcased what the game looked like in an engine.
All right, I'm pulling it up now. I had a snafu with YouTube.
Okay.
Here we go.
Now this video has creeped me out more than anything in PT did.
But I mean, that's in engine. Like,
yeah.
This is engine right
It's
here. This is in
unreal.
engine.
Oh, you
unreal
mean
how
this
it looks.
isn't like a?
Yeah, that ball did not have the momentum to open that door.
Nope. And it's opening all of the doors. Oh, good!
Oh, hello. Hi. Great.
I have not seen this.
Good.
Oh my...
We'll see ya.
Fantastic.
Oh, good. Even better. Wormhole.
Nope.
I have to go.
I have to take this.
I have to talk to this.
This creeps me out more than anything here. This is like if Toy Story was rated R.
Yeah, actually.
Yep.
Well, because the.
Okay. No.
No. Stay back. Sir. Hello, blood.
Door just flying to the adjacent wall, opening, and now there's an opening there? Like, what?
Yep. That seems safe. Button from the arm.
Or let's just take our time, actually. Let's walk
Yes,
really
there's a
slowly.
disembodied, Attack on Titan reject coming
There's
down the
also
hallway.
A new hole in the fucking wall. I mean, both are scary. And I mean,
Yeah.
the beauty of that is because we sort of have more of an understanding of this trailer from playing PT. Because things in PT, it's like, oh, the guy you're playing as killed his family.
Yeah.
And,
So the best part about it though was PT was isolated.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in that game was not going to be in Silent Hills
Oh
at all.
but the theory was it was a reference to the kind of person that was going to be the main character.
Right.
Because the stories you got from like the radio and stuff, they weren't the same murders, but they were very similar. Like
Yeah.
one was a pregnant woman, another one was a young girl in the bathtub. They were different, but they alluded to this is the kind of main character. This is the something similar that he did.
I'm never going bowling ever again.
Oh, no.
I will never be able to unsee a bowling ball turning into a head.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm easily creeped out.
Yeah.
So that was a very well-made trailer.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, it was. It's very well made, playable trailer too.
Yeah. So the playable trailer, like I said, it was its own game. It's like that's it. So none
Yeah.
of that
No,
was
but it
going
was
to be in
supposed
Silent
to be
Hills.
so cool,
Everything in Silent Hills was going to be brand new.
Yep.
So that's what was shocking, and I was just like, "You really just like made this demo just to fuck with us?" And that's
Yeah.
it. That's
It's
it blew my
Kojima.
mind.
And Kojima was sitting there the whole time when it was released, just like in a gigantic, high-backed chair, probably with evil-looking shoulder pads on, just going,
Okay, but wait, this isn't the first time Kojima has fucked with people in a demo. Now, if you remember for the second Metal Gear Solid game, the demo of Metal Gear Solid 2 was Snake on the tanker ship.
right,
Correct.
No
it
one
ended...
fucking knew who Raiden was for the whole game.
It ended with the first boss.
Yep.
The demo with what's-her-face, Olga. And
Yep.
that was it. And then when you play the game, it's like, okay, here's the first boss. Oh, now we're going to keep going after the demo. And then it's like, and now you're going to play as a completely new character that you're going to hate.
But you didn't know you were playing as a new character until the
Right.
end.
Exactly. Until
Until it happened.
yeah.
And
It was insane.
I was reading an article about that Kojima stated that was about hiding things, like it was to tie in with the plot of the game, like hiding things from the public eye
Exactly.
and keeping things secret in the information age and all that stuff like that. And he did a fantastic job of doing that.
Because
He did.
Raiden wasn't on the box art or anything. He wasn't in any of the promotional
He
stuff.
was in no promotional stuff, no demo,
Snake.
no box art. He wasn't in anything. And the first time you heard of this man was when you take control of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So-
And the fact that ties in so nicely with the plot of the game is like... Thank you,
Yeah,
Kojima,
12
for mind-fucking
Patriots.
me from both directions.
Yeah. I mean, but that's his thing. Like, he likes to involve you in the game more than you just playing it.
And
you
he's
know?
good at it.
He's
And-
very
but
good at it.
The best part about Kojima is he is a huge scaredy cat. Right? He does not do well with horror, and there was multiple
that.
interviews with him that said that is the perfect reason why he should be involved in this, because he knows what scares you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it scares him, it's going to scare a lot of other people, I guess.
Yeah.
And just this was the video we just showed, a minute and 45 seconds. I am now more depressed than I was going into this that this game is canceled. Would I have played this game? Yes. Would I have completed this game? It would have taken a very long time.
Yeah.
A lot of breaks. The lights would never be off in your apartment.
The sun.
Stop. I need to hug somebody.
The sun would be up at all times. As soon as it started getting a little dim outside, it would be done for the day.
I have to make dinner now.
And then you'd have to watch like Teletubbies to get your mind off of it before going to bed.
Teletubbies is scarier. What is wrong with you?
All I need to do is picture like somebody looking in the window at me in the middle of the night, and that's it. I'm creeped out for 5 hours.
That's why I close the blinds.
Yeah,
I'm also on the second floor, so if someone's looking in my window,
There's another problem.
I gotta go.
Yeah, I had a dream when I was younger of someone looking in my basement window at me because I slept in the basement when I was 14. And since then, I just can't. It's someone looking in the window. It's like, nope, done. That's what scares me. Right there.
I don't get dreams, let alone nightmares, so I don't know what that experience is for people.
That was one of my most sane dreams, mind you.
To sleep first, Dom.
There's that.
That's true.
She sleeps.
I don't do a lot of it.
No.
But when I do, there's no dreams.
There's no
Cat, I swear to God. I'm having an argument with my cat in the middle of all this. Anyway, as we usually do on this podcast, we take viewer questions. Usually in the form of video. Lately it's been in the form of video. Although occasionally we'll take a Twitter question or two. But anyway, our usual culprit, Jakeinator, has supplied us with another lovely video question. And while I was playing, I'm going to go kill my cat. But I present to you this week's Take a Break with Jake.
Serious Gentlemen. This is I, Jakeinator. And I have a question for you guys. But it got cancelled. See you next week. Just kidding. I was just wondering, how were your reaction to the game actually getting cancelled? That is my question. See you next week. High fall!
Alright, so you heard him. What was your reaction? Yeah. What was your reaction to the game actually getting cancelled? I had a moment.
Extreme disappointment.
I loved PT so much that hearing that Silent Hills was canceled. I mean, obviously.
It was utter devastation.
If I was capable of forming tears, it would have happened.
I mean, it was...
A saddening moment, to be sure.
It was just... The hype got so high because of PT and what happened and the whole conspiracy thing. We were all like, oh my god, this is so... It's gone. Just, it's gone.
But I mean...
Yeah.
I still don't believe that it's actually not going to happen. It just bothers me that much that I don't accept it to be true.
And as sad and disappointing as Silent Hill's not happening is, Del Toro and Kojima are still going to work on something, I think, is the silver lining of all of this.
Right.
Is that they're still going to make a game, a horror game, and two titans of horror are going to come together.
Two titans of horror.
It's true, though.
You know what? I don't consider Kojima a titan of horror. I consider Kojima a titan of good storytelling.
That is correct. Yes.
So
which kind of makes horror, because if you don't have a good story, which is why I had a problem with horror when I was younger, because I didn't think any of it was good until I saw a couple of good ones.
Maybe I was desensitized to it, but yeah, Michael Myers never scared me.
Luckily, there is a petition to try to save this game.
Right, I have that pulled up right now. It's
But the problem here is they're petitioning Kojima and Del Toro, who can't do anything about it.
No.
That is true, but that does not mean that Konami's going to take a blind eye to it either. You know, because they're going to see.
They've taken a blind eye to everything else. They're just sort of like la la la. It's not a blah blah. You know.
There's clearly some reasons going on between Konami and Kojima right now that we are unaware of, right? So I don't want to defend one side or the other without knowing the situation, but we all want this game. We all want it, and if anybody can make it happen, it's got to be all three: Konami, Kojima, and Del Toro. Like, have to come into some kind of terms and agreements for it. But you know, as it stands right now, this petition is at 175,000 signatures.
Yep. 175, 540. Yeah, it's not a small number.
No, not at all.
Especially for these kinds of petitions, these online petitions that nobody ever signs. So
yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty significant deal right there.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, that's the thing. Like, the fans are really kind of picking up the slack here.
They are,
which is good.
Are.
I mean, it's a loved franchise.
There's a game in Steam. If you go into Steam, which is, if you incorrectly search on YouTube, they're actually saying it's Silent Hills. It's not. It's Silent Hills.
Alchemilla.
Now this is shot in Source Filmmaker,
which is
so
fantastic.
It's going to look a bit different than playing the actual game. They stylized this trailer here to appear as if it was Silent Hills.
Right.
So the game itself plays like any other typical Half-Life style game. But they got the feel off correctly, I think, in this trailer.
Yeah.
It's super creepy.
It's foggy indoors.
I like the way the camera, you know, like whoever is filming it or whatever, how it shifts back and forth, you know, and things like that.
Also, props to Source Filmmaker, because that thing is rad.
It is. It's really, really good.
Huh.
I mean, and that's kind of the cool thing here, is that, like, okay, we won't get Silent Hills, but maybe we could try as a community to make it almost happen, you know? Like, it's really cool that, like, there's such a strong... Nope.
Such a strong nope.
There's such a strong, like, following behind all this stuff.
The nope is strong with
The
this
nope
one.
is strong here, too. Yeah, I don't like rubber arm creeps. And then we went to the other
Yay!
world.
Meatballs!
And there's Fisty over here.
Yep. See, now they're incorrectly labeling this as Silent Hills. This is just, you know, it's a fan-made thing
Right.
in the style. But that is an actual real game you can play called Silent Hill Alchema. And it is, it's a Steam game, and it's in the spirit of the Silent Hills franchise. It's not a remake of the series, anything like that. It's just kind of its own standalone little project somebody put together that they were working on.
Right.
And speaking of things that are being put together and worked on, we have another fun video. This one is called Allison Road.
Right.
And there's a bit here, so we're just going to talk over it as it goes. But I believe this is an entirely fan-made thing too, right?
Yeah. This is... Did it get greenlit yet?
Yes, it's been greenlit by Steam. It is being made in the Unreal 4 engine, which...
Good engine.
It's a good engine. We haven't... I don't think we've fully seen what the engine has to offer yet, but...
No, not yet. But people have been posting videos of Mario and Kirby in the Unreal 4 engine. You know, because...
Right.
This looks pretty spiffy.
It does look good.
Yes.
I mean,
It's-
obviously very different just because, I mean, again, no one really knows how to use the Unreal 4 engine yet. It just kind of came out recently.
It kind of came out, and people are still, you know, they're getting their hands into it.
Right.
We're surely going to see some fantastic crap soon.
This game looks very, very good. It's put together well.
And remind you, this is all pre-alpha footage, so this is
Yeah.
like, you know, hey, it works for a walkthrough. Let's do a walkthrough.
Right. but they kind of got like the camera movement down, you know, in that sort of almost disorienting sort of style, you know.
Yeah, there's like just enough of a fishbowl effect to make you feel disoriented, but not enough to make you feel woozy.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's the cool thing. It looks like you're allowed to pick up anything in this game.
interact with it.
Magazine, pillow,
Yeah, which are
book.
problems I have with some games where it's like, why can't I pick Why can I pick this and not that up?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you could pick up literally everything, but there's quite a bit of stuff you can interact with.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like, they have magazines that you'll hear here where they're, like, talking over it, and it's like, a wedding magazine. And it's like, it's real. They got, like, voice acting, everything involved. Like,
Kitty party.
It's not about cats.
so,
What do you mean, Jen?
yeah, the people behind this one, as far as I know, it's one guy right now. I don't know if he's got anybody else involved on the team.
I
you
imagine
check
after
them out.
showing this off, he's got some volunteers. Who hang... Oh, okay, I was going to say, who hangs Greek letters on their wall? But now
Yeah,
I see the
it's-
whole thing.
I don't particularly care for the design of this house. I think I think the hallway immediately leading out of this room is a little awkward.
It's a very modern house.
Yeah.
From the look on the
Yeah.
outside going in. Like, hey, we're tight for space, so we're going to build the most, interesting house we can.
The last thing I want to do.
Yeah. I mean, and it's got a PlayStation controller, so that's pretty cool.
Copyright infringement.
Well, if you notice, Sony is like scribbled out on it.
Yeah.
This room is the one that gets me weird because it's like the hallway seems a little too small.
It is now.
and,
I mean,
and the lighting is. I know that's a lamp or whatever, but it just looks like the shadows are way too much on that. I think.
yeah.
Well, as
Yeah.
they said
I mean,
earlier,
I feel like that
pre-alpha.
hallway might be cramped on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty.
I mean, we've seen those apartments where it's like, hey, you're going to live in a 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 cube.
Yeah, I know that. I get that. If this is based off like a real house, that's fine or whatever. But
Right.
if this is created for the game, I feel like the hallway should be just a tiny bit wider. Not even like double length, but just a little bit wider.
Yeah, I can go with that. So this
Really, I'm
is...
loving like the lens that they're using as the person's eyes. It's just, I'm digging it.
It's just like games like this have me really excited, because it's clearly inspired by PT.
Oh, yeah.
So without PT, we wouldn't have games like this. So the outlook, if we don't get Silent Hills, if we don't get the game by Kojima and Del Toro in any form whatsoever, I'm still hopeful.
Yeah.
I'll be sad, but I'm hopeful.
6 members of one.
The radios is creepy.
Yeah, and it's right.
This is interesting.
And
I mean,
if Del Toro and Kojima go off and like, I don't know, team up with some cooler people than Konami. Not that I'm saying Konami's bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just.
If they did a Kickstarter, it would
That-
get funded in a second.
It really
like
would.
they could even just crowdfund whatever they want to do,
Yeah.
at least partially.
yeah.
Do it on their own.
Yeah, because it's the demand is there, the hype is still there. The love for the franchise and their work is still there. So
They
they
could
could
just name the game Whispering Hilltop.
Whispering.
Quiet Mountain. I mean, yeah, they could do. I mean, that's the thing. Like, Kojima is such a marketable producer. Like, he could pick up a job anywhere. Like, we saw it happen with the creator of Mega Man, where he got fired from Capcom and then immediately got taken on. We saw on E3 to make a new game with the guys who made Metroid Prime.
A side note, is that not creepy to anybody else that you have like a window inside the shower?
It's a little weird.
No. Having a
No?
clear window like that, yes, because I'm thinking to my parents' house, and when you're in the shower, the bathroom window is like 80% in the actual shower. But I mean, with how high up it is and everything, someone's going to have to be on the roof of the neighbor's house to even see in it. So, but
Yeah.
yes, there is, a window in my parents' bathroom, in their shower. So I'm not necessarily creeped by it, but the fact that it's not a frosted glass or anything like that, that's kind of weird.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. That would just creep me out. But
It's a pre-alpha window, guys. It's not ready for privacy yet.
Yeah.
so now this is where the demo starts getting a little intense here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The clock just jumped ahead 10 minutes. There's a bloody meat cleaver on the table.
They were clearly like cutting some steak prior to this.
Yeah.
Sure. Steak. Great.
Really raw steak.
Yeah, extremely raw, like fresh off the bone.
cow.
A cow in the derogatory sense.
Yes. Oh, very good toast.
Yeah, toast.
I always wanted a 4-slice of bread toaster.
Yeah, me too.
Man, the dream.
It's like the Cadillac of toaster.
The Cadillac of toast.
You know what?
I stole that joke from someone else.
You know when you two move in together, you're gonna have a 4-slice of bread toaster.
No, we're gonna have
No.
a toaster oven
I know, because he's no fun.
You're smart.
Toaster ovens are great.
Toaster ovens are the best.
I need
really
a toaster oven.
It's all the conveniences of a toaster, but also an oven.
Yeah. I don't know how you
It's
could
like
live
too
without
small
a
to
toaster
do
oven.
most oven things.
I use my toaster oven more than I use the microwave and the stove combined.
There you go.
I like how we're watching a thing.
He just so he just noped the door shut. No.
Yeah, we're good. Closing the door. We're gonna
Just close that. It's
go
okay.
right in here.
I still don't like that lamp.
I'm
Just-
waiting for
the
those
shadow is so weird.
life. But I feel like those shadows are purposeful and like they're gonna come to life or something.
Yeah, I mean they could, but like I'm still like, look at the design of the just the messed bed. Like, look how good that looks in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Unreal 4 engine for you.
Yeah.
I mean, a
well,
lot of love went into this. And
It really did.
Look, it's a Galaxy S4.
No,
It's
it's
an iPhone.
Okay, so what I'm gathering here is some shit went down in a good Christian house.
Mm-hmm. That's what it appears.
There's someone upstairs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's sure what it sounds like.
I have to hand it to the main characters in horror games and stuff like that, because I would have, nope city'd right out the door.
it's
Yeah, I would have sold that house.
I'd be in the next county by now.
Yeah, and the thing about
Oh,
a horror
my
game,
God. I thought it was out.
main characters when
Just need
it's
some
a
water.
first person view when you don't actually see them is they seldom speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like scary stuff is happening and they're not screaming. Well,
It's supposed to be you.
Ears screaming my head
But
off.
that's the point, because it's
No,
supposed
I
to immerse you more.
Oh, no, I-
Someone just knocked on the door.
I just-
You're supposed to be the one screaming, not the person you're controlling.
No, I know that's true.
It wasn't that door, but close it for good measure.
I was gonna say I gotta close this
Just
door
to
before
close
I
all the
move on.
doors. Just close every door. Why not?
Lock every door.
I still don't like that shadow. Like, I just don't like it. It's not that it creeps me out. I just hate it.
And the whole
It's bad shadow.
the whole round the corner and there she is thing in PT, every time he turns around in the hallway, I'm expecting there to be something.
Yeah,
Right.
you shit your heart out every time the camera jerks.
Well, Jake, at least you have the dogs.
Yes.
I gotta
Like-
take a leak.
That's nice. He has to take a leak. I keep expecting to see something looking in the window, which would thoroughly. Okay, now
nice.
here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, trains are starting.
Yeah, so
Nope.
it's not. Now what do you do? Oh, let's go. Let's go look at some pots and pans.
Let's look at some pots and pans. Let's make tea.
I mean, I know they're showing off all the features here and
There it
stuff,
is.
but like
Oh, what was that?
a door just opened. That's
Oh.
a flashlight. Good
Oh, we
idea.
got a flashlight.
Flashlight.
Good. Now if the lights go off again, we'll be safe.
Mhm.
Yay! With a tiny mag light.
Hey, don't knock those tiny mag lights. They do their job.
Oh yeah.
Is
What?
someone
What? I'm.
up in the window?
He did say he had to use the bathroom, right?
Yeah, Sarah. I know people with washing machines in their kitchen just because they don't have a space anywhere else for it.
That's true.
So, that's not what's freaking
Yeah,
me
this
out
seems
about
to
this.
be a first floor apartment Like there seems to be another apartment upstairs by the way the place is set up
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah, the sink works.
I am really thirsty right now.
They see the toilet works too.
So yeah, we're gonna watch
Toilet
him go to
works.
the
Hey, the
bathroom.
lights are gone.
Oh,
Power outage.
good thing we have that flash.
He's looking out. Like he's gonna look down the hallway right now, and I am already in Nope City. Something else creeping on the floor.
What do you mean Nope City?
Ooh,
Sin Death.
Death.
sin death. Is that what that's called?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, pre-alpha, the writing on the wall doesn't look amazing.
Right.
You know, it would need work, but it's definitely got the...
Knock
mean,
on the bathroom door. Let me.
For
in, I
pre-alpha,
need to
this
take
is beautiful.
This is pretty amazing for pre-alpha stuff.
Ah, guys! Shit! Damn it!
Yeah. So that little girl, her name is Lily.
Of course it
Um,
is.
Yeah, and you know I'm assuming based off of biblical Lilith.
Demon child.
Yeah, probably.
Don't really know too
No,
much about
don't
her backstory.
Go back into the hallway.
They've been touching on it briefly. If you follow their Facebook, I think it's facebook.com/Allison Road, if I'm not mistaken. I will double check that right now.
You're walking way too slow for someone who just saw a demon child. With their head freaking out like it's the poltergeist.
Mike,
no,
It's
she's
facebook.com/Allison Road Game.
Mike is officially the person in the movie theater who's shouting at the main character.
Run, you idiot!
You hear the sound of what is intestines being ripped out of a body, being munched on, and you're going to go upstairs and investigate. Get
Yes,
the
sir.
fuck out of this house.
See, now this is why it looks like a first floor apartment. It looks, like there may be two other apartments in here.
You are like Freddy when there's an actual, murder on the loose. Let's split up, gang.
Fred, there's an axe murderer.
Never split up the party.
Fred, the walls are bleeding.
Jesus Christ.
Don't you love when the walls start bleeding?
Fred, the walls are legitimately bleeding.
Shag and Scoob, you go check the basement. I'll take the leaks.
And there's a body in the hallway. It's getting up. Oh,
It's-
I am totally in
It's your
Nopeville.
fault.
Oh,
Oh God.
I did not need that.
There's just a bunch of nopes in chat. No.
I did not need that. And that was the end of it. We will provide a link to that in the description of this video. But
So,
I
I'm very
bet this
thankful-
is the villain in the mask. No, Fred, don't do it. Grabs her head, and now Fred's entrails are on the floor.
I'm very thankful
No,
for
last time.
for
Fred goes
PT
to
actually
mask off and
releasing.
literally just takes the skin of the face off.
The next time you see Fred, he's hanging by his ascot.
No, but I'm actually thankful for games like PT for actually being released because then players have an idea of what they could have expected and to draw some inspiration off of. So we're
Exactly.
going to see a lot more games pop up in the style of this. I would have loved the original more than anything, believe me. But
I'm really
I
hoping.
really like this genre and I want to see more of it.
I'm hoping in like 6 months the stars align and something happens and like Kojima and Konami have like a hug festival and work their shit out and Silent Hills gets made for reals.
Mm-hmm.
There was some rumors going around that the game was 80% complete and Microsoft was going to purchase it. I remember that going on around just before E3.
Yeah.
The game is not 80% complete by any means. The game is like 10% complete from
Just
yeah.
I mean, if what Del Toro is saying is true, though, they're going to take, him and Kojima are going to take the ideas that they had. And, I mean, we're going to get I think we're going to get the gist of what they wanted to do with Silent Hills. I mean, obviously it's going to be a different plot and stuff like that, but I think the interactivity that we're going to get and
a different
Yes.
plot, the interactivity, and maybe some of the same mind fucks that they were going to throw at us.
right.
Like,
I think that's all
mechanically.
going to be there.
I mean, Konami's come out made statements that they're not done with the Metal Gear franchise. They're not done with the Silent Hill franchise. So just because Kojima is not tied to them does not mean that there won't be more games coming out because there will. But
But
Yeah, I mean,
will they live up to the hype that was created for it?
We
Oh,
won't
yeah.
know until after 5 comes out, because 5 is done, and Kojima worked on that completely. So anything after that is going to be our benchmark for the most part.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to Metal Gear games, the Silent Hill games, we don't really know. We don't have a real benchmark set right now. It's, what happened in PT. Like, can they beat the benchmark of what we did in PT? Maybe. But does that mean it would have met the benchmark of what Silent Hills would have been? Probably not.
Ridiculously difficult puzzles, unique uses of hardware, like, whispering the name Jareth into the microphone.
Yeah.
I mean...
A tailoring
That's clever.
of,
That is very clever.
Yeah, clever use of the actual hardware and game mechanics to create a really difficult puzzle.
I mean, even the puzzle in which to solve it is not very clear. Like, there's no set rules to be like, how do you solve this? It's like, you really don't know.
It's a little bit of luck.
Knock it your
Like,
neck.
I just went over, like, the steps to how to decipher the name Jareth. That's not, like, common sense to go and do all that stuff. That's stuff that, like Kojima said, he was very surprised it was done on the first day.
I mean, like...
He expected it to take a week.
He expected it to take a week because, like, how is the average gamer skilled? Has the average gamer taken cryptography or anything like that?
But,
I sure as shit haven't.
People were streaming the crap out of this game, so the internet, someone on the internet
They pooled their resources.
Someone on the internet has like a cipher machine at home, and they can figure it out.
Sutter Kane in chat is saying we might get more, but Kojima's insane OCD is what made those games great. He fired a team from Metal Gear Solid 2 because at the bar on the boat, a half bucket of ice melted at the same speed as a full bucket of ice. I don't know if this is true or not, but that sounds like Kojima to me.
That kind of insane attention to detail, yeah.
Could be.
But anyway, that's Silent Hills in a nutshell. I mean, we've talked the death out of this really small amount of footage and a very short playable teaser. I'm very sad. I want more.
This even just sitting here talking about it now, it makes me even more sad than I already was. Like, I felt like I moved on just a little bit from it, and here we are now. It's July 2015, and I am just as devastated as I was when I heard the news months ago.
We're gonna have to talk about that grief, Dom. We'll work through it.
We will work through that with Dom. Anyway, is there anything else you guys would like to mention?
I pooped myself.
Is there anything else of a relevant nature that doesn't involve you changing your pants that you'd like to mention?
Yes. Wait. No.
This October, possibly my mom playing PT.
I might actually pay something to see that, because that sounds amazing. But anyway, that would be our show, and yeah. So, where was I gonna go? I don't know.
You were gonna go
Out.
to Funky Town.
Straight to Funky Town. So, while they're doing, Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me right there at Zista, XIZTA with an underscore, as well as on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zista without the underscore, and youtube.com/deadzista. No underscores.
Dude, what?
The
Shut
two
up, I know it
people,
doesn't apply. I miss doing it.
the two citizens of Funky Town. Where can they find you?
Funky Town.
It's Melody to Funky Town. You can find me at Cleomoto on the socials and on Twitch at that Cleomoto, which I swear I will start streaming again.
You can find me over there at No More on Twitter.
Very good. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Philodrin, right there. I actually have started streaming again. I just finished an all Renegade playthrough of Mass Effect, and I'm gonna go on to Mass Effect 2 starting this weekend, and then 3.
Renegade for life.
And I'm the type of person, when I make the Renegade choice and see it play out in front of me, I cringe because I'm not that kind of person.
Well, Mike, I think the correct answer is you have to start Mass Effect 1 all over again because you did not get a full Renegade ending.
I chose one choice because fuck that guy. Seriously. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Anyway, you can find us all here every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Zista for more Serious Gentlemen Gaming.
WordPress.seriousgents.com, Twitter Serious Gents, and YouTube at Serious Gents Podcast, I believe it is.
Indeed. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully we'll get some Silent Hills news, something, anything. I don't know. We'll see. Have a lovely evening, everybody.
Stay tuned for next week when we talk about nothing.
Fire.
Probably talk about Splatoon, right?
Yeah.
Stay tuned for next week. Tentatively, Splatoon.